Welcome back. I sat down with longtime Trump associate and legendary financier Tom Barrack to discuss tax reform and real estate.
Straight up. It's impervious. It's amazing. So if you look at residential prices, which is at least an amusement, right? For us to look at a house that sold for $10 million that now sells in this city for $100 million. The only thing different is the price. So the tax impact of property tax exclusion as well as state income tax has had zero effect. There's so much liquidity in the system that as an alternative to investing and actively managed investments, people are parking money in residential real estate.
So is it fair to say it is a seller's market right now?
I believe that it is. Now,
sure.
You know, this could go, the tarmac could go for a long time. But at these cap rates and these spreads, so credit is so available, and even as interest rates have risen, spreads have come in. So the users of capital haven't felt it. So if you're a real estate developer, today is one of the most beneficial times to borrow money. And core and core plus and value added is in tremendous demand. So always at a time where there's that many buyers, as a trader, I'm always tempted to be a seller.
What's your sense of the Fed right now? A lot of people say to me, look, the biggest risk for this market right now, and the economy, by the way, is the Federal Reserve blowing it, whether it means raising interest rates too many times, seeing things too strong, maybe it's not that strong, and the winding out of the balance sheet. How do you feel about the Fed and its moves?
You know, I never try and guess the Fed. They're much smarter, they're much brighter, they have all the information. But what I know is we're at about full employment. Corporate earnings are at all-time highs. Corporate reserves are at all-time highs. And the only threat is as those pricing indices move up, something has to give. So the inflationary pressure of what's there will take place as rates rise, but that's okay.
You are seeing an economy that is strengthening for a number of reasons, partly because of the tax cut plan.
Absolutely.
The tax cut plan, the rollback in regulations, that's had great impacts, hasn't it?
Huge. And even the administration deserves great credit. The president, Steve Mnuchin, Gary Cohn, the Congress. I mean, it's historic to have that tax plan, but even more historic is the rollback of the regulatory environment.
Absolutely.
So if you talk to CEOs, if you talk to banks, and you say, what's been the largest single quantum leap in this administration, it's that. It's made a big difference.
Now, there is a narrative going around right now for a number of people who've actually been on the program with me who believe that we will see a sharp slowdown at the end of 2019 going into 2020. I had one person on from Guggenheim yesterday who said recession 2020, no doubt about it. Robert Kaplan from the Dallas Federal Reserve says that while we will see economic growth this year about 2.7%, by 19 it will go down to 1.75%. What do you think?
So you look at global growth and you look at the 10,000-pound gorilla, which is China, and say, okay, China has to do two things. It has to keep buying our debt, whatever the price is, so they have reserves so they can keep their currency from appreciating. They have 200 million middle-class people. They have 2 million super wealthy people, and they have another billion behind it that are all ready to go. Now, take India and move next to it. Take all of sub-Saharan Africa and move next to it. Take Latin America as a trading partner. Latin America is 3 times greater trading partner. We export more to Latin America by 3 times than we do to China. So looking at the domestic economy and saying we're primarily a service-based economy, those countries are going to have to grow. They have to grow. There's no way out. So I think we have a long run in front of us. We're going to have bumps, of course. It's cyclical, of course. We have, political dialogues that are going on. But then we have anomalies of something like, North and South Korea.
Well, President Trump has made some really bold decisions, whether it be the embassy in Jerusalem, the pressure campaign on China as well as on North Korea. Clearly, these things have contributed to extraordinary movements, and this North Korea situation is one of them. And yet the president continues to face resistance from the left. It's pretty amazing how vitriolic it is.
Yeah, look, he's a warrior. And I try, especially on both coasts, to explain to people that he's so much smarter and better and compassionate and humble than people think. And you remember in the old days when he was on The Apprentice, he used to refer to himself as the Donald. It wasn't me, it was the Donald, right? He had that position. So you look at this dynamite diplomacy that everybody criticized. Who would have ever thought when he was calling Kim Jong-un Rocket Man and saying mine is bigger than yours? On both coasts, people were going crazy.
Right.
And now, hopefully, he'll be the beneficiary of the Nobel Peace Prize. He should be.
You're a friend, you're an advisor. Does he get upset by this resist all the time and the negative commentary?
No, he doesn't. He really believes that's what he signed up for.
You worry about the trade rhetoric. Do you worry about the tariffs on aluminum and steel? This seems to be the one issue that really roils markets.
Yeah, I don't worry about it at all, and I'll tell you why. He has a policy of what I call dynamite diplomacy. So instead of negotiating, he throws a dynamite stick into the middle of the pot, and people sit down a little more earnestly to discuss it. So Steve Mnuchin is on his way to China. There's nobody better than Steve. But most importantly, the president has a personal relationship with President Xi. And you saw this come out with Kim Jong-un in Korea. So China needs us desperately. We need China desperately. The president knows that unless we get some competitive advantage, the one belt, one road of China will end up coming through Beverly Hills, California, and be on Rodeo Drive.
My thanks to Tom Barrack.